The decline of paganism in the Roman Empire was a complex and gradual process, profoundly influenced by the conversion of Emperor Constantine to Christianity in the early 4th century. This transformation was not immediate nor absolute, but rather a slow and often contested shift in religious, social, and political structures. The erosion of traditional Roman religious practices in favor of Christianity was facilitated by state support, legal restrictions on pagan worship, and cultural transformations that gradually marginalized the old gods. Before Constantine's conversion, the religious landscape of the Roman Empire was characterized by polytheism, an array of local and state-sponsored deities, and a system deeply embedded in public and private life. Paganism was not a singular, unified religion, but rather a collection of diverse beliefs and practices, including Greco-Roman deities, mystery cults, and imported foreign gods. The state religion was integral to civic identity, with emperors often associating themselves with divine favor to legitimize their rule. The imperial cult, which venerated the emperor as a divine or semi-divine figure, played a central role in maintaining political unity. While Christianity had emerged as a small persecuted sect within the empire, it was not yet a significant threat to the established religious order. The sporadic persecution of Christians, especially under emperors such as Nero, Decius, and Diocletian, reflected concerns over their refusal to participate in state rituals rather than outright theological opposition. However, Christianity's monotheistic exclusivity was at odds with the inclusive and syncretic nature of Roman paganism. The turning point came with the conversion of Emperor Constantine, following the Battle of Milvian Bridge in 312 AD. According to Christian tradition, Constantine experienced a vision of the Christian cross and adopted it as his divine emblem, leading to victory over his rival Maxentius. In 313 AD, Constantine and his co-emperor Licinius issued the Edict of Milan, granting religious tolerance to Christians and restoring confiscated properties. While this did not outlaw paganism, it marked the beginning of Christianity's privileged status within the empire. Constantine's conversion had significant consequences for paganism. Although he did not immediately ban pagan worship, he increasingly favored Christianity through state patronage. He provided financial support for Christian churches, granted privileges to Christian clergy, and incorporated Christian symbols into the imperial court. Over time, the Christian faith became intertwined with the political structure of the empire, creating an environment in which paganism was gradually marginalized. While Constantine maintained a policy of relative religious tolerance, his successors took more active measures to suppress paganism. His sons, particularly Constantius II, pursued aggressive policies against traditional religious practices. Constantius II outlawed pagan sacrifices and closed many temples, signaling the first direct state intervention against Roman religious traditions. The imperial court became increasingly Christianized, and pagan rituals were progressively deemed incompatible with state governance. A brief pagan revival occurred under Emperor Julian, known as Julian the Apostate. A committed Hellenist and philosopher, Julian sought to restore traditional Roman religion and counteract the influence of Christianity. He reopened temples, reinstated sacrifices, and attempted to reform paganism to compete with the moral and organizational structure of Christianity. However, his reign was short-lived, and his policies were swiftly reversed by his Christian successors. The most decisive blows against paganism came under Emperor Theodosius I, who made Christianity the official state religion of the Roman Empire. Through a series of edicts, he banned pagan sacrifices, temple rituals, and participation in public pagan festivals. The Theodosian decrees of the 390s effectively criminalized traditional religious practices, leading to the closure and destruction of many temples, including the renowned Serapeum of Alexandria. Theodosius also took measures to integrate Christianity into the legal and administrative framework of the empire. The imperial government ceased financial support for pagan institutions, and Christian bishops gained increasing influence over state affairs. The altar of victory, a symbol of Rome's pagan heritage in the Senate, was removed, signifying the shifting ideological and political landscape. Beyond legal measures, broader cultural and social shifts contributed to the decline of paganism. Christianity's appeal lay in its promise of salvation, strong communal networks, and moral framework that resonated with a population seeking spiritual certainty in a time of political instability. Christian charity, monasticism, and ecclesiastical structures provided a compelling alternative to the decentralized and often fragmented nature of pagan religious practice. Furthermore, as Christianity became the dominant faith of the imperial elite, conversion became advantageous for social mobility. Pagan intellectuals, such as the Neoplatonists, attempted to sustain philosophical traditions linked to classical religion, but their influence waned as Christian theology came to dominate educational institutions and literary culture. The process of Christianization also involved the repurposing of pagan sites and festivals. Many temples were converted into churches, and Christian leaders appropriated aspects of pagan tradition to ease the transition for adherents. This syncretic approach facilitated the gradual erosion of paganism without immediate eradication, allowing for a more seamless religious transformation. Despite these extensive efforts, paganism did not disappear overnight. In rural areas and among certain aristocratic circles, traditional religious practices persisted well into the 5th and 6th centuries. The term pagan, from paganus, meaning rural dweller, reflects the association of traditional religion with the countryside, where imperial enforcement was weaker. The Western Roman Empire's fall in 476 AD did not lead to a pagan revival, as the emerging medieval European kingdoms largely adhered to Christianity. However, remnants of pagan belief systems influenced folk traditions, festivals, and regional religious practices for centuries. In the Eastern Roman Byzantine Empire, pagan intellectual traditions persisted longer, but the state remained firmly committed to Christianity. The decline of paganism in the Roman Empire was a multifaceted process, shaped by political, legal, social, and cultural changes. Constantine's conversion set the stage for Christianity's ascendancy, but it was the sustained policies of his successors, particularly Theodosius I, that solidified Christianity's dominance. The combination of state intervention, cultural assimilation, and shifting societal values gradually marginalized pagan traditions, leading to their eventual disappearance as a dominant religious force. Though elements of Roman paganism endured in cultural memory and folklore, the transformation of the empire into a Christian state marked one of the most profound religious shifts in history. This transition laid the foundation for the medieval Christian world and fundamentally reshaped the trajectory of Western civilization.